The lights flickered, then went out. For a second, the whole housing unit went silent. Then the noise it all at once, shouting, metal banging, feet running. A guard yelled for backup. Someone screamed from the far end of the tier. I pressed my back against the wall, heart pounding so hard I thought everyone could hear it. This was Rikers Island. And this was the night everything broke open. A door slammed. Another one rattled. I smelled sweat and fear. A voice near me whispered, "Don't move, don't look." I did what he said. Because inside Rikers, one wrong move can change your life forever. 2 months earlier, I had never been to jail. My name is Marcus Reed. I was 26 years old when the bus crossed the bridge and the buildings rose up from the water. Gray walls, narrow windows, fences stacked on fences. It didn't look real at first, like a place from a movie. Then the bus stopped, and it became very real. I was there waiting for trial, not convicted, just waiting. That's how Rikers works for a lot of people. You come in innocent or guilty, it doesn't matter. You wait. They took my fingerprints, my photo, my belt and shoelaces. A guard read my name like he didn't care if I heard it right. I was tired, hungry, scared. That was a low moment, quiet and heavy. Then they walked me into housing. The noise never stopped. Men yelling, doors clanging, TVs shouting over each other. Someone laughed too loud. Someone cried in a corner. A man with tattoos on his neck looked me up and down and said, "First time." I nodded. He shook his head. "Welcome." My cell was small. 2 bunks, peeling paint, a thin mattress. My cellmate was older, with tired eyes and slow movements. His name was Leon. "Keep your shoes on at night," Leon said, "and don't take favors." "Why?" I asked. He looked at me for a long second. "Because nothing here is free." Days passed. I learned the rules without anyone teaching them. Don't stare. Don't sit in the wrong spot. Don't ask too many questions. The guards were there, but not always present. When things got loud, they stepped back. When things got quiet, they watched. That scared me more. Rikers has highs and lows. The lows are long and slow. Waiting for chow. Waiting for mail. Waiting for court. Waiting for your name to be called. The highs come fast. One afternoon, a fight broke out near the phones. 2 men went down hard. Blood on the floor. Guards rushed in late. Everyone else backed away. The fight ended as fast as it started. After that, the phone stayed empty. Another day, a man didn't come back from the shower. They said he was moved. No one believed that. I asked Leon how long he'd been there. 18 months, he said. "But you're waiting for trial," I said. He smiled without humor. "So am I." At night, I couldn't sleep. The lights never went fully dark. Someone was always yelling. Somewhere, a door always slammed. I started counting days on the wall with my fingernail. 1 line for each day. It helped me remember time still moved forward. Then I saw something that changed how I saw the place. A young guy named Trevor came in. He was loud, angry. He said he was innocent and demanded a lawyer. He banged on the bars and cursed the guards. Leon shook his head. He won't last. 2 days later, Trevor was moved to another unit. A week later, someone said he was in the hospital. That's when I learned another rule. Rikers doesn't always punish you right away. Sometimes it waits. My court date got pushed back, then pushed again. My lawyer said it was normal. Normal felt dangerous. One morning, a guard called my name and told me to pack up. "Why?" I asked. "Different housing," he said. Leon looked at me. "Be careful." The new unit felt worse. Tighter, louder, more eyes watching. Men grouped up by who they knew, where they were from, who they answered to. I stayed near the wall. Quiet. That night, a man sat beside me and spoke like he was talking about the weather. "You don't belong to anyone," he said. "I'm just waiting for court," I replied. He nodded. "So is everyone." He leaned closer. "That's not protection." The next day, someone tried to take my food. I gave it up. Another low moment. Later, Leon found me during rec time. He had been moved to the same building. "You okay?" he asked. I nodded, but my hands were shaking. "Listen," he said, "this place is pressure. It squeezes you. If you don't bend, it breaks you." I asked him how to survive. He thought for a second. "Stay invisible." I tried. For a while, it worked. Then the power went out. The alarms didn't start right away. That's what made it worse. A few seconds of dark. Then shouting. Then metal hitting metal. That's where we started. The night the lights went out, I heard running. Someone fell. A guard yelled for help. Another voice shouted my name, even though I didn't know who it was. Leon grabbed my arm. "Don't move," he said again. I stayed still as shadows rushed past. Then a door near us burst open. And everything changed. The door burst open with a sound like thunder. Men poured into the hallway. Some ran. Some hid. Some froze where they stood, not knowing which move would hurt them less. The lights flickered back on in flashes, on then off, like the building itself couldn't decide what to do. Guards shouted orders. No one listened. Leon pulled me back toward the wall. "Head down," he said. "Hands close." I did exactly that. A man slipped near us and fell hard. Another stepped over him without slowing down. Somewhere, a metal chair scraped across the floor. Someone yelled for medical. Someone laughed. Then the alarm started. Loud, sharp, nonstop. That sound meant lockdown. It also meant things had already gone too far. The guards rushed in wearing helmets and shields. They pushed people back into cells, shouting numbers and names. I was shoved forward, then back, then spun around and slammed into a door. "Inside," a guard yelled. I stumbled into a cell with two men I didn't know. The door slammed shut behind us. The cell was hot and smelled like sweat. One man paced. The other sat on the lower bunk with his head in his hands. "First time?" the pacing man asked me. I nodded. He stopped. "Don't worry. The worst part is after." The light stayed on all night. No sleep. No food. No answers. That was a low moment. Long, heavy. Waiting. In the morning, they let us out one by one. The hallway looked different. Scratches on the walls. A broken camera hanging loose. Dark stains on the floor that had been half cleaned. No one talked. Leon found me near the phones. He looked tired. "You make it?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. "What happened?" He looked around before answering. "A mix-up. Someone got moved who shouldn't have. Someone else thought it was on purpose." "Is it over?" I asked. Leon shook his head. "Not here. It just resets." Court was delayed again. Another low. Days passed. Then weeks. Rikers settled back into its rhythm. Loud days. Louder nights. The guards changed shifts. Inmates changed moods. Tension sat in the air like a storm that never left. I learned how to move better. When to speak. When to stay quiet. When to give things up without arguing. That was survival. One afternoon, a counselor stopped me in the hallway. "Marcus Reed?" she asked. "Yes." "You have a visit." My heart jumped. Visits meant outside. Family. Hope. It was my sister. She looked smaller behind the glass. "You don't look okay," she said. "I'm fine." I lied. She shook her head. "They keep pushing your court date." "I know." "Everyone knows about Rikers," she said quietly. "People are talking." I didn't know what to say. When the visit ended, it felt harder than before, like I had seen freedom, and then watched it leave. That night, a man named Curtis was brought into our unit. He was calm, too calm. He spoke to people one at a time, asking questions that didn't sound like questions. "What set you from?" "Who you cool with?" "How long you been here?" When he got to me, Leon stepped in. "He's waiting for court," Leon said. Curtis smiled. "Aren't we all?" Curtis didn't sleep. He watched. 2 days later, a fight broke out near the bunks. Not loud. Fast. It ended with guards pulling one man away while Curtis stood back, untouched. Leon leaned close to me. "This unit's changing." "How?" I asked. "Someone's trying to take control." That was a high moment. Extreme. Fast. Dangerous. The next morning, Curtis was gone. So was the man who fought. No explanation. Then the rumors started. Someone said an investigation was coming. Someone said it wasn't. Someone said people were being moved on purpose. I didn't know what to believe. Then Leon didn't come back from chow. I waited by the bars. I asked the guard. He was relocated. The guard said, I knew better. That night, my cell door opened. A guard pointed down the hall. Grab your stuff. My stomach dropped. Where am I going? I asked. He didn't answer. They walked me past units I had never seen before. Quieter ones. Darker ones. We stopped in front of a door with fewer windows and thicker bars. The guard looked at me and said, This is temporary. I didn't believe him. As the door closed behind me, I realized something terrifying. Rikers wasn't just dangerous when it was loud. It was most dangerous when it was quiet. The quiet felt heavier than the noise ever did. The new unit was smaller. Fewer men. Fewer guards. The walls were cleaner, but that made it worse. Every sound echoed. Every movement stood out. They put me in a cell by myself. The door closed slow, like it had all the time in the world. I sat on the bunk and listened. No yelling. No TVs. Just footsteps far away and the low hum of the building. This was isolation. This was where they put you when things were about to change. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept thinking about Leon. About Curtis. About how people disappear without anyone saying a word. Why? The next morning, a guard stopped at my cell. You got court, he said. I stood up so fast my head spun. Today? He nodded. Get ready. I wanted to feel happy. I wanted to feel relieved. Instead, I felt scared. They walked me through hallways I had never seen before. Past offices. Past locked doors. Past windows where I could see water and sky for the first time in weeks. I almost cried. At the courthouse, everything moved fast. My lawyer spoke in calm words. The judge looked tired. Papers were passed back and forth. Then it happened. Time served, the judge said. You're released. I didn't understand at first. My lawyer grabbed my arm. Marcus, she whispered, you're going home. My knees felt weak. Just like that, it was over. Or so I thought. They took me back to Rikers to process my release. One last bus ride. One last set of doors. I sat alone, staring at the floor. A guard walked past and said, Lucky. I didn't feel lucky. While I waited, I heard shouting down the hall. A unit was being searched. Men yelling. Guards yelling louder. I heard a name. Curtis. Then another. Leon. My heart jumped. I never found out what happened to Curtis, but I saw Leon again. They walked him past me, hands cuffed, head down. His face was bruised, but his eyes met mine. He nodded once. That was enough. Hours later, they handed me my clothes, my phone, my shoelaces. The door opened. The air outside felt different, lighter, too big. As I walked away, I looked back once. Rikers stood there like always had. Gray, silent, waiting. I made it out. A lot of people don't. That's the truth they don't always show. Life inside Rikers Island isn't just about crime or punishment. It's about waiting, pressure, fear, and what happens when the system moves slower than the people trapped inside it. Some survive by staying invisible. Some don't. I walked away carrying something heavy. Not guilt, not anger. The memory of a place where one night the lights went out and you never knew who would still be standing when they came back on.